If you look throughout the summer, I think we played in a variety of conditions throughout the different series that we had, and showed that we...
Shots like that just opens the face, makes it look so easy, Joe Root.
When young Joe Root stepped onto the pitch at Headingley for the very first time, he didn't exactly look like a future superstar. Small, skinny, and almost too polite to be a cricketer, he barely stood out among the crowd. But the moment he took his stance, everyone was in for a surprise. With each swing of his bat, jaws dropped.
Shots like that just opens the face, makes it look so easy, Joe Root.
Everyone on the field fell silent. The boy's timing, his balance, and his pure love for the game were all anyone could talk about. That boy? None other than Joe Root. Root wasn't just another kid with a cricket dream. He was a workhorse.
Round arm, short, bang, six.
Day after day, rain or shine, he'd be in the nets, determined to make it big. Talent gets you in the door, but hard work keeps you in the game.
I think we walked out today, and obviously it's a nice position to be in. We're so far ahead of the game, but there's never you're never batting the same situation twice, and it's always like a...
Root would often say, and he lived by it. He didn't care about fame. He just wanted to score runs. And guess what? He's now one of England's finest batsmen, breaking records left and right. So here's what we're digging into today. What makes Joe Root so special? Is he one of the all-time greats, or just another star in England's lineup?
Root gets it on the full, helps it through square leg for four.
And hey, if you had to choose, would you call him a better batsman or a better captain? And hey, if you're a Root fan, smash that like button. He deserves it, right? Joe Root was born in Sheffield, England, on December 30th, 1990, a city known for steel production, not exactly for producing cricket stars. But Joe, he had something special, a spark, and perhaps an unusually early love for standing in front of anything that even remotely looked like a set of stumps. His family was cricket-obsessed too, with his dad and younger brother Billy, now also a pro cricketer, spending most weekends with a bat and ball in hand. In other words, if there was one household in Sheffield where cricket wasn't just a sport but a religion, it was definitely the Root household.
One of his very best hundreds.
Young Joe, however, wasn't always the big name he is today. In fact, as a kid, he looked more like a gust of wind could blow him over than a future cricket captain. Teachers at school probably thought he'd grow up to be an accountant, or maybe a librarian. But even then, little Joe was obsessed with cricket. He'd drag his bat to the nets after school, refusing to leave until the sun went down, and sometimes even after that. It's safe to say that while his friends were out playing video games, Joe was perfecting his cover drive. So, question for you all. At this age, were you practicing something every single day, or were you more the sit back and relax type?
a new opportunity to go and get your team into a position where you can win the game. And I actually really enjoyed the tempo that he had to find out there today. We wanted to move the game forward as quickly as we could.
By the time Joe was in his early teens, he was training with the Yorkshire Academy, impressing his coaches with his commitment.
Got a four slip in play. That's good from Root. Bad ball from Ishant Sharma, but effectively put away.
And while most 15-year-olds struggle to wake up on time for school, Joe was waking up early for cricket practice. He quickly rose through the ranks, making his debut for the Yorkshire second team in 2007. At only 17, Root was already starting to turn heads with his technique and patience, a trait not every teenager is known for. By 2012, Joe's dedication paid off.
Two straight. 4 out.
He got the call-up to play for the English national team, a dream he'd been chasing since he could hold a bat. And when he finally made his test debut against India, he played like a pro, scoring 73 runs and proving he belonged on the world stage. And here's a fun fact. Joe Root has a unique way of celebrating his century, a cheeky mic drop with his bat. Ever done a mic drop in your own life? If not, maybe it's time to find a moment worthy of one. Joe Root's big break finally came in 2012 when he was called up to play for England in a test series against India. Now, can you imagine the nerves? He was only 21, walking into one of cricket's most intimidating arenas. And he wasn't exactly facing some friendly neighborhood bowlers. These were world-class players ready to send him straight back to the pavilion. But Root, cool as a cucumber. In his debut, he scored 73 runs with a patience that left everyone stunned. Root wasn't just defending his wicket.
Has to hurry and gets home. It's another 100 for Joe Root. Saturday of a Lord's Test match, one of the great days in the...
He was showing everyone he belonged. Commentators couldn't help but wonder, who is this calm Yorkshire lad? Was he secretly a cricket robot, or just born with nerves of steel? His debut performance earned him not just respect, but a permanent spot in England's lineup. Root was on his way to becoming a legend. And let's be real, who knew that this skinny kid from Sheffield would end up as one of England's finest? Would you have guessed it back then? From that point on, Joe Root wasn't just another young cricketer. He was England's new star, ready to shine. When you think of cricket legends, names like Sachin Tendulkar and Don Bradman might pop into your head. But have you ever wondered where Joe Root fits into that elite group? Well, grab your cricket bat, or maybe just a comfy seat, because Root's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. After his stellar debut, Root didn't just sit back and admire his cricket whites. Oh no, he was like a kid in a candy store. Except the candy was centuries, and he couldn't get enough. In the 2013 Ashes series against Australia, at the tender age of 22, he smashed his first Test century at Lord's, scoring a magnificent 180 runs. Imagine being that young and casually deciding to make the Australian bowlers question their life choices. Do you think they considered switching to a less stressful profession afterward? But Root wasn't done playing havoc with Australian morale. In the 2015 Ashes, he was named Player of the Series, racking up 460 runs. It's almost like he had a personal vendetta against kangaroos. Maybe one stole his picnic basket as a child. By 2016, Root had climbed to the top of the ICC Test batting rankings, becoming the world's #1 batsman.
Telling me how much it meant to him at the time, and I thought, wow, this is massive, really. Telling me how he still keeps it in his sock drawer, so every morning when he wakes up, it's the first thing he sees. And
not too shabby for a lad from Sheffield, right? He was accumulating runs faster than a sneeze travels, which, fun fact, is over 100 miles per hour. Bet you didn't see that comparison coming. In 2017, he was handed the captaincy of the England Test team. Leading your country is a big deal. Kind of like being made the manager of your local fish and chip shop, but with slightly more pressure. Did Root buckle under the weight of responsibility? Not a chance. Under his leadership, England secured memorable wins, including a 4-1 series victory over India in 2018.
Oh, yes. Oh, goodness. You've just got to appreciate the batsmanship these days. Who thinks to do that?
He even celebrated one of his centuries with a cheeky mic drop of his bat. Who does that? Joe Root does that. Speaking of celebrations, have you ever pulled off a mic drop moment in your life? Maybe aced a test or finally fixed that leaky faucet? Feels good, doesn't it? Now let's talk about 2021, a year many of us would rather forget, but not Joe Root. He was on fire. He scored a double century in Chennai against India, making batting on a tricky pitch look easier than spreading butter on toast. He became the first player ever to score a double century in his 100th Test match. Seriously, who writes this guy's script? By mid-2021, he had accumulated over 1,000 Test runs, making him the quickest to reach that milestone in a calendar year since, you guessed it, ever. It's like he found the secret cheat code to cricket. Do you think he might share it with the rest of us mere mortals? But Root's achievements aren't just about big numbers. He's known for his elegant playing style, often compared to the grace of a ballerina, except he's dodging bouncers instead of pirouetting. His cover drives are the stuff of legends. If cricket shots were songs, his would top the charts every time. And let's not forget his off-field demeanor. Root is renowned for his sportsmanship and humility. After dismantling bowling attacks,
Soft hands and away down to third man.
he often compliments the bowlers. Talk about adding salt to the wound, but in the politest way possible. Imagine being so nice that even your opponents can't help but admire you. Has that ever happened to you? Maybe after winning a heated game of Monopoly? In 2022, Root stepped down as captain to focus on his batting, and boy did he. He continued to pile on runs, reminding everyone that leadership or not, he's a force to be reckoned with. It's like he has a personal agreement with his bat. You take care of me and I'll keep you famous. So, what's next for Joe Root? Breaking more records? Inventing a new cricket shot? Maybe juggling flaming cricket balls? Though we wouldn't recommend that last one. One thing's for sure. As fans, we're in for a treat. Root's journey is a testament to what talent combined with hard work can achieve. From his early days in Sheffield to becoming one of the finest batsmen in the world, he's shown that nice guys don't finish last. They finish with a century and a cheeky grin. But let's be honest, every hero has their kryptonite, and for Root, there were challenges that tested his mettle. Remember the 2017-18 Ashes series down under? England suffered a crushing 4-0 defeat to Australia, and as captain, Root bore the brunt of the criticism. It was like trying to win a dance-off with two left feet. Ouch! Root himself struggled with the bat during that series, unable to convert starts into big scores. Critics questioned his tactics, his leadership, even his ability to inspire the team. It was a rough patch, no doubt. Have you ever felt like the world was pointing fingers at you? Not the best feeling, right? But here's the kicker. Root didn't shy away from his shortcomings. In interviews, he acknowledged his mistakes and expressed a genuine desire to improve. He once said, "You learn more from the difficult times than the successes." Talk about turning a setback into a setup for a comeback. In 2020, England faced a tough series against the West Indies at home. Root missed the first test due to the birth of his second child. Congrats, Joe.
I think they're a very well-rounded team, to be honest. I think they've got some high-quality fast bowlers. There's clearly a lot of talent within the spin department.
But upon his return, the team struggled to find consistency. As captain, he faced questions about team selection and strategy. Did he let it get to him? Maybe a bit, but who wouldn't? Yet he used the experience to fine-tune his approach, both as a leader and a player. When he eventually stepped down as captain in 2022, some saw it as an admission of failure. But Root viewed it differently. He saw it as an opportunity to refocus on his batting and allow new leadership to emerge. It's like realizing you're better at cooking than hosting the dinner party. Sometimes, you just have to play to your strengths. Root's ability to confront his failures head-on is perhaps one of his greatest strengths. Instead of dwelling on the negatives, he uses them as fuel to become better. Maybe we could all take a page out of his playbook. Next time life throws you a curveball or a nasty bouncer, remember Joe Root and stand your ground. So, while his career is adorned with glittering achievements, it's his resilience in the face of adversity that truly defines him. After all, isn't that what makes a hero? Not just the ability to soar high, but to rise after every fall. As Joe Root continues to grace cricket grounds worldwide, one can't help but wonder about the legacy he's building. Will he be remembered as one of the all-time greats? Well, if carving your name into record books while keeping a cheeky grin counts, then absolutely. Root's impact isn't just measured in runs or centuries. It's in the inspiration he provides to aspiring cricketers. He's the guy who proves that you don't need superhero muscles or a flashy persona to dominate the sport. Who needs a cape when you've got a cricket bat, right? Thank you for watching, and remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can experience our following cricket insights. See you in the following video. Bye for now.